Good evening, my name is Brendan Lee Kwan and today I'll be presenting my PSM1 or known as FYP1. The title is EcoCare Mobile Application and my supervisor for PSM1 is Dr. Sim Hugh Moy. The product owner is Mr. Darren Lee Kin. And next is the table of contents. So the presentation will include introduction of the project, summary for literature review, methodology for system development, requirements for development, along with the findings of PSM1 and the plans for PSM2 in the near future. Next is the introduction. So I will begin with the company background. The company is called EcoLead Ventures Sendirian Berhad, and the nature of their business is providing car detailing services. So the EcoCare mobile application will be a customer relationship management application that helps the company. Next, a simple flow of the business process begins with customer filling in a form through WhatsApp and paying the deposit, followed by the product owner manually creating sales order on Buku and job card on Trello. The product owner then assigns the job to employees and employees can check their assigned jobs on Trello and perform them as their daily tasks. After that, the customer aftercare is done individually for each customer after the job is finished through WhatsApp. The next slide is the problem background. The problems found after the interview session are firstly, product owner has to manually receive a significant amount of orders and creating the job cards and sales order for them every day is a hassle. Next problem is that the product owner also personally provides aftercare services to each of the customers individually through WhatsApp, which is time consuming, and there are also no incentives for keeping the customers loyal besides good service. Hence, as a solution, the EcoCare mobile application will be able to solve this by automating the order process and the creation of job card and sales order. Other than that, it will also act as a centralized contact platform with specialized contacts that can be accessed by product owner and admins. Next is the aim of the project. The aim of this project is to develop a centralized system for EcoLead Ventures Sendirian Berhad and digitalizing their business process. It also provides customer relationship management and simplify the business process for the company. Next is the objectives. So the objectives of the project are to identify necessary information of the EcoCare mobile application, to design and develop the EcoCare mobile application, to test and evaluate the application through procedures, and to ease the business process through CRM provided by the application. Next, these are the scopes of EcoCare. So EcoCare will include automation of business process, reducing time required for the business process, providing incentives to the customer, and API integration for the existing systems. Next, the users of the application will be the product owner or admin, employees, and customers. What EcoCare will not do is EcoCare will not provide accounting services, as EcoLead will have their own accounting service. Next is the literature review. This is the summary of literature review. So the literature review done for this project includes the case study of CRM, and a summary of this is that businesses will have competitive advantage if they implement CRM, and the customers will have higher level of satisfaction, which makes them regular customers. Next, the current system analysis is about the current manual system used by EcoLead. So after the analysis, EcoCare will be able to reduce manual operations and provide a centralized CRM platform for the business process. There has also been comparison for existing systems done for the project. The systems compared are Monday.com, Salesforce, and the current system used by EcoLead from various aspects that will be shown in the next slide. The literature review includes the technologies used, which are API integration, data analytics, and machine learning. API integration allows implementation of functionalities into the system, while data analytics allow customers to receive a recommendation, and machine learning is able to provide real-world predictions, which is a part of data analytics. Next is the comparison table. As you can see, the aspects being compared in this table are automation of sales process, task management, order management, customer segmentation, contact management, reports, integration capability, and dashboard. As you can see, the current system used by EcoLead Ventures Sendirian Berhad is lacking in various aspects when it is compared to the other existing systems such as Monday.com or Salesforce. Next is the system development methodology. So the methodology used for the system development is waterfall and agile. The reason that the waterfall methodology is used in PSM1 is because there is a set time frame and it is more focused on documentation, while agile methodology is used in development phases as it is more flexible to changes made due to changes in the business process or so on. Moving on, so these are the phases for PSM1. The first phase is the project proposal, which involves finding a supervisor and preparing a project proposal to be submitted. The next phase is the 50% project report draft, or the progress one. This includes writing a report for EcoCare that has the introduction, literature review, and the system development methodology. The next phase is the requirements analysis, where I documented the requirements analysis such as the use case diagram, sequence diagram, and the initial mockup interfaces of the EcoCare application. The last phase is the presentation part and making final changes after receiving feedback for the EcoCare project. Next is the technologies used. So the technologies used for system development will be API integration, data analytics, and machine learning. API integration is done with Buku to allow the creation of sales order from EcoCare and Trello to allow the creation of job card through EcoCare. Data analytics will allow further understanding of the customer's preferences with the help of machine learning by making predictions based on the browsing activity of the customer. For the data collection of the project, I went and visited Pro Kuching, licensed by EcoLead Ventures Sendirian Berhad, and interviewed Mr. Darren Lewikin about the problems faced and so on, which lead to the development of EcoCare. Next is the development requirements. The development requirements for EcoCare includes various softwares and hardwares, and this is the list of software and hardware used for development. The softwares that will be used are Android Studio SDK, which is a system development kit, Visual Studio Code, a source code editor, Flutter, an open source framework by Google for mobile applications, Postman for API integration testing purposes, and Firebase, the database and machine learning provider, while the hardware will include laptop and smartphone for coding and testing purposes. Next is the PSM1 findings. So my findings include the functions to be included. So the first one is automated business process, which replaces all the manual process with an automated process. The next is the customer management, which means that the customer details can be viewed by the admin or product owner. Next is API integration, which allows the automation of job card and sales order creation, followed by job management, which is involving the assigning and removing employees from the job cards and letting the employees update the job status of the job cards. And finally, we have the centralized aftercare, which is providing aftercare through specialized contacts, which means that there is only business related contacts. Next is the main interfaces. So this is the main function of EcoCare, which is the automation of business process. The customer can select the services on the services page. So they select the services for their car by entering the car plate number, car model, and drop-off date before pressing the checkbox to select the services. Next, for the products page, the products that they want can be selected by taking the checkbox and entering the quantity of the products by pressing on the icons or directly entering the amount through the keyboard of the phone before proceeding to checkout by pressing the done button. After that, the checkout page displays the services or products selected by the customer, and the total amount is displayed along with the deposit and the points required for redeeming if the user chooses to redeem the points. along with two methods of payment, which are paying the deposit or redeeming points. Next is the rest of the main interfaces. So the customer can choose to redeem points, which displays a confirmation message, and the customer can press on redeem if they are sure they want to redeem the points. Or the customer can choose to pay the deposit, which will redirect the customer to the online bank payment page. Once the customer has paid either through points or deposits, then the drop card and sales card will be automatically created. Next is the plans for PSM2. In terms of coding for PSM2, the proposed software and technologies that will be used for development are as mentioned before, which includes Visual Studio Code, Flutter, data analytics, API integration, machine learning, Firebase, Firestore, and so on. So I will need to conduct more research beginning from the end of this semester until the start of PSM2, which is around 7 to 8 months duration. The topics of research will be more focused on data analytics, machine learning, and API integration, as it is more unfamiliar to me. Firebase messaging and hosting will also be researched as well, but I have some experience in using Firebase, so it can be said that they are less likely to be focused on. So next is for the testing. Okay, so for testing, I plan to refine the test cases so that more flaws can be identified and ensure that the quality of the software can bring more satisfaction to the users. The test can be refined by adding more steps and adding more details. So this will allow the test to be more comprehensive so that the developed application can be properly tested before being used by the users. So all flaws can be found, and hopefully all flaws can be found, and the user will be satisfied with the performance of the application. So next is in terms of the project designs. So I will further improve them by adding more details to ease the development process. For example, the sequence diagram can be further improved by adding more details that might have been left out, or improving the class diagram by adding parameters for operations and missing attributes of the class diagram. Besides that, the database design can also be improved, since there might be data that is left out during the design as well, or there might be changes to the database due to the business changes. So I think that's it from me. Thank you for your attention.